what's up everybody? Welcome. I haven't made a video in a while. That is because, dude, I got like Bell's palsy after that one war reading that I did, and I am convinced it was spiritual in nature. I don't know how to explain that, and I'm not going to speculate because I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But I'm just going to lay low as far as that war prediction, because I feel like someone was watching my ass and then it like went crazy. I will, however, say that the precious resource has not changed. They're going to say that it's a bunch of other different stuff or whatever, but it's water. Okay? That's what the precious resource is. And that is the conduit and the uniting factor amongst all. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, I've been getting a lot of downloads. I feel like I don't even need tarot cards lately. But I am going to use them to clarify. I'm going to go ahead and say some stuff that I've been getting recently. And let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start this with early September. Now, since early September, I've been getting a lot of downloads regarding food, transportation of food. There's also a lot of nostalgia this month. I see a lot of reminiscing about past loved ones, about the past, about things we wish we would have done differently in the past. But a lot of the collective messages I'm receiving are honestly about food, transportation, currency, and the collective spirituality, okay? Also, I had a dream the other day, and I know that when you dream, the language centers of your brain are turned off, but I saw RS handline, right? So I looked it up because I don't know what it is, and it is actually a produce company in Ohio. So I don't know if someone works there and they need to look at this reading, or I don't know if they will become important at some point in time, or if something they're doing is important. Take it as it resonates. I also keep hearing protector, strange weather in strange places. Something happening will affect the elderly quite a bit, so make sure that you're in communication with the older members of your family. Make sure they have everything that they need, because if there is a substantial market crash, I feel like a lot of their assets could be lost, and they will probably be the most vulnerable in the next year. So in the new transition, but also like after that, I see that they need a lot of extra care and attention right now. Something about raspberries. If you're eating raspberries, maybe you should listen to this. Or if you know how to plant them or something like that, maybe now's a good time to plant raspberries. I heard God say it the other day. I woke up like at 3 and I just heard raspberries and I was like, what? Okay. I'm also thinking of climbing mountains to walk with God. I take this to mean overcoming challenges to become one. Take it as it resonates. Also, you need to be healthy for where you are going next. So if you're thinking about stopping an old habit, I'm seeing smoking, drinking, binge eating. If you're out of shape, start getting into shape. You need to be in shape for where you're going next. And I feel like you've been hearing this message since maybe July or August, and you just haven't done it. But it's time to do it. You need to get on it. I'm seeing by like November, December, you might start be seeing the beginnings of whatever it is that you need to be in shape for take place. Because I feel it for myself also. This is super weird, but I just started like losing weight in like the last month, and I mean, I haven't tried much, so I'm just like, okay, is this like a supernatural push to like get started? But look, if you've been feeling guided to do that, do it. I feel like a lot of people right now are getting messages on, hey, stop eating this, hey, stop doing that, hey, do this, do that, and it's just like, you're not listening. And then interestingly enough, let's say you're guided to eat nectarines, but you don't want to go to the store and eat one, but you know that you should be eating one because you've thought about it for whatever reason for like days. Then suddenly someone at work brings nectarines. Okay, go take one. Just do it. Okay. Let's see what else. So this is going to be a story about two kings, right? And this is a download I've been getting since probably July. Like, I've been thinking about these two kings for quite a while. I go ahead and write all my downloads. But, well, this is August that I started writing about them. But, you know, we're here, we're seeing a battle between two kings, and these two kings are men of old. I see them as giants, you know, I see them as taller than men of this era. I see them with bigger hands than men of this era. I see them fighting over old world values, right? So tradition, legacy, honor. And something that stands out to me is that the queen had recently passed, and you know what I thought of was chess, right? The queen protects the king, and she is gone. So what happens now? If you know chess, then you know that the best time to take your queen is right before checkmate. I know a lot of other readers have been getting this as well. I actually didn't see the queen taken in a chess game, but I was dreaming about the board itself. Like, I saw the black and white checkered board, and like a whole bunch of other stuff, right? But that stood out to me. I also hear Turkish delight. I don't know if this is something to celebrate in Turkey or in the Muslim culture or what, but I'm also getting this download of like, let me see if I can find it really quick. Look, this is what the untold story of Elizabeth and Islam, the Sultan and the Queen. And now I actually got the download to buy this book. Like, I'm not even kidding you, like a year and a half ago. And it's so crazy because I just made the connection right now. Because she was Queen Elizabeth. What the hell? Fascinating. Ottoman Empire, Morocco. Christianity and Islam were still at odds, but Elizabeth gladly sought alliance with Muslim lands against the sheer threat of Catholic Europe. Oh. Man, this ties into so many other downloads I've been getting. But look, if you want to buy it and maybe read it, it's called The Sultan and the Queen by Jerry Broughton. I'll probably be reading this later tonight. Because I'm not even kidding you. I bought it like a year and a half ago because I was watching, is it Alchemy and You? And she talked about this book. And I was like, oh, I've been wanting to read about because I saw, this is going to sound wild too, but years ago I saw demographic shift in Europe. Like, I saw a lot of immigration to Europe, so much so that it completely changed the demographic there. And so when she had said that, I was like, oh, that resonates with me. You know, that resonates with that book that I had wanted to buy. So, okay, that's so interesting. Okay, so I also see two kings at war over legacy. I see an old Asian elder who is wise, and he holds a duck. These people will fight with the sword. Keep in mind that the sword, at least biblically, spiritually, whatever, does mean the truth or the word. So perhaps they fight with the truth. Perhaps they fight with information. I also see two countries in alliance. One gets harmed, the other will avenge him. I also see an old alpha that carries sorrows. He seeks spiritual enlightenment. I think this is a country. I think right now this country has a very sophomoric understanding of what it means to be spiritual. But I feel like when the transportation system fails, this country will be tested and the fire will ignite. And by fire, I mean there will be a spiritual awakening here. And I believe this is America. I also see something here about snake venom. Snake venom. I do know that there's like one of those conspiracy videos called Watch the Water. I don't know how I feel about it. But knowing how it coagulates the blood, and I saw the, what is it called? Like the pathology report of COVID and how it is believed to be man-made. But to me, I read that report as like a weaponized anemia kind of, but not anemia, more so in that it causes coagulation by just eviscerating blood cells and stuff. So I don't know, think about that. I also see something going on with the cartels. I believe the cartels are killed by their own sword. I don't know if this is like, it's weird, okay? Like, I see something being weaponized against them that they are surrounded by. I don't know which cartel this is, but I know it's a cartel because I feel drugs, money. I also feel like human trafficking, and I also see I see human trafficking like in South Central America and in like Mexico is like tunnels. Um, I see that too, and traveling in like a desert or like in I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, but my point is, I see an infiltration. You know, I see someone getting in there, and it explodes from the inside out, and the remnants of this will try to avenge that, but I see that they are easy to take out because there's not enough of them after that. And, you know, if you're in that, don't, you know, come looking for me. It's just like, that's just what I see. Um, I see a 10 to 1,000 conversion rate in currency. I also see gold, Egyptian gold to be specifically, so 20% silver, 80% gold. I'm also seeing a lot of Greco-Roman pillars. Um, I see hypertension, coagulation, swollen bodies, a transport system with many stops and then it crashes. I'm also seeing a bridge. I saw like London Bridge, like I hear the London Bridge song, but then I see the bridge of San Francisco. So I don't know if that's like my symbol for bridge or what. I don't know. I also got Boston Tea Party with that, which was weird. So I don't know if that's aimed at the UK or what. Let's see. I also see a signet ring, a seal of wax, an authority, a signature. This could be a negotiation or an executive order, just something with authority being signed. I also see a vault being moved from one old location to one new location. And I see the transport being very shaky, like it could collapse at any moment. And I'm also seeing a hero's journey. Now, if you're a person of literature, then you understand that a hero's journey, you know, it has a map. Let me draw it out. It has a map of development, right? And so right now at this point in time, I feel like a lot of you are wondering what it means to, or that's a pretty bad one, what it means to be you and where you're going in life and stuff. And so go ahead and look up a hero's journey and you will kind of understand where you are on your part of your journey and start taking a look at your life as like a book. You know, I draw a lot of comic book stuff and you know, I like to view my life as a comic book story, and I feel like other people should start doing that. You know, like, are you acting in a way that your hero would be? Uh, I don't know. Whatever resonates, take it. If it doesn't, don't. Um, yes, feeling like a chessboard. So, I also feel like the writing is on the wall. You know, like everything is in position. This, I already talked about this, the queen. I'm also seeing the clock at 10 and 2. I also feel it at 5 and 3 o'clock. So either 5:15 or like 2:50 or 10:10, you know, something very interesting here. I'm also seeing Storm Rider. If you see yourself in a storm, you're gonna ride it, you know, you're gonna be fine. But this, what's gonna happen economically is really gonna be a test in mental fortitude, and I feel like the people that will be affluent are people that have been tested in the past and they can serve as inspiration for others that are looking to have that mental fortitude. Let's see here. I am also seeing something about European flight zones. Specifically, if we look across the Atlantic, right? I see the left side of that land flight zones from there for some reason. Event. Blue. War. Law. I don't know. Something going on with Israel as well. I'm also seeing Hawaii. And I also keep thinking of that song from Lilo and Stitch, the one that goes, oh, I'm taking that as, okay, this is going to sound a little controversial, a little out there. That song is actually about Queen, is it Leilani, the last queen of Hawaii? I feel like there's a parallel there between her and the Queen of England. Now, I don't know why. I just get a really interesting feeling that Charles won't be there for very long. Mind you, I don't know anything about how government politics or any of that stuff works. Like, how do you have a monarch and then a parliament and then, like, I don't understand that. But I don't see him being there long. It feels like she was the last. And this Hawaii song keeps coming out to me, and man, it makes me so emotional sometimes. Like, it's so weird, but like when I hear it, I get so like I want to cry, but like it's just a very raw reaction to it, right? And I think of the women dancing with their heels and the ball of their foot like moving and stuff. And I don't know what that means, but the way I also interpreted it as was the king before her was, I believe, a very happy king and a bird catcher, quote unquote. And so a long time ago, I was getting the download that, but also I was being told by someone that read for me that the devil will come in the form of a crow, right? And so when I heard this song and I looked up its meaning, I found out that this king, the last king, right, was the best bird catcher in the world, right? Or like he had that reputation on that island. And so when I read that, I was like, oh, God's gonna take the devil, right? But I mean, that's a given. Like, I know that. So to me, it just sounds like a celebration of what God is capable of. But then I heard, like, the song was also about her, the last queen. And so I believe this is like a timing event. I believe that, the queen passing is like a time stamp. So, I mean, and some of y'all felt it the day she passed. I know that a lot of people were talking about it, about like, hey, the ways of the old world are gone, or like something's different. There's going to be a transition here. Everyone kind of feels it. I also hear an ear blast. So I don't know about y'all. I get what I call like clairaudience. Like, I have tinnitus, right? I've had it for a very long time. But I also just hear like the voice of God, and I get told things before they happen, or I know things before they happen. And so I think this is, I got like, hear the shofar, the ear blast. I feel like I said earlier, like some of y'all are getting downloads on what you have to do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and you're ignoring it. And I think you need to listen. You really do. Like, there's a reason why this is coming out right now, and don't ignore it. I'm also hearing something here about all genius requiring some madness. And like, I'm thinking about Kanye and Elon and stuff. I think there are some of y'all that might be ashamed in your either spiritual gifts, your relationship with God, or like how you perceive things, and you sometimes you feel like you're too out there, or like nobody would understand, like nobody would get it. um there is genius in madness. And if you want, like, this is something I've been doing. I've been telling a few of my best friends that also have these gifts and stuff, like, write everything down. Like, just write it down, and it feels so much better just to put it on paper. And because then I get to do videos like this and be like, oh yeah, by the way, in July, like, just because you'll realize that you're not getting these messages for no good reason. Like, early September, I had been rejoicing about Israel for no good reason, or was it August? I don't even know. And then, like, I, like, heard all this news that was going on over there, and then, like, Solomon's temple and copper, and and I was just like, what's going on? Like, it's funny because I tell people I don't even need to watch the news because I know everything that's going on. Like, I knew about the, you know what, I'm not going to get into it, but all I'm saying is, you know what's going on. You just need to shut up and listen. Something else I'm getting, one of the kings, the story of two kings. Wait, did we go over that? How we're engaged in a battle, two kings in a battle. One sits in front of a cross, another one sits on a large amount of land. The elder king is in the field. So I believe this elder king is in the field, is regarded to the one that sits on land. That makes me think of the East. The Asian elder holds a duck. Take that as you will. I'm seeing, okay, I'm getting some stuff right now. I'm seeing some geopolitical movement regarding the elder king, which we may see soon. And what's interesting is, like, I'm hearing let sleeping dogs lie. But this is deception. So I'm seeing it as someone is old and ancient and you don't think they'll move across the board, but he becomes active. The king starts moving. This could be someone that hasn't taken military action in quite some time, beginning to move. At least that's how I'm experiencing it. And this elder king is taking movement because his legacies have become damaged. And what I mean when I say legacies, I feel like this is, man, what's the word geopolitically? Like, subordinate country? Like, okay, and then, I don't know how to explain it. I'm no geography expert. Okay, here's how I'm going to say it. So let's say this is a country, right? So this country has, like, smaller little countries that it's allied with, or that came from it, like broke off from it, but are still under it. Kind of like this is parents, right? And then this is child. But it's like smaller countries that came from this big country. So this king will start moving because one of its kids is, like, taken out, injured, attacked, or unavailable. Like, I get someone not being able to call this child. Like, if we're looking at it from a parent to a child, I see a parent that can't get a hold of his son. And so, what does dad do? Dad's going to go down to wherever son is and be like, what the fuck? Like, why? What's going on? But I see that this elder king takes action. And this elder king, You know, I had seen him a couple weeks ago with subcontractors, which is interesting because I didn't perceive this as like an Eastern king at the time. Now I kind of am, but I'm wondering if this Eastern king takes subcontractors or if the subcontractor was my word for child, you know? Um, so that could be also like I'm here to collect my child who has been away or gone. Um, take that as you will. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it out loud. Um, maybe I could get a timeline on that. Let's do a quick clarification. This is my homemade deck. It has no name. Let's see. External factors, gumption. Ooh. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Give me a timeline for this Elder King coming in to recover his child. Dinner at the Ritz. Okay. Give me a timeline. Elder King recovering child. Timeline for Elder King recovering child. Oh, so I get it coming out during a time of prosperity when the market recovers? And perhaps it is unexpected, but it is also, clarify this shy bladder. I don't like that. Again, another situation where it is meant to be, but what I'm getting here is that it might actually be a sneakier operation than we expect it to, and it might actually cause a lot of anxiety. How this king moves, I mean, might cause a lot of anxiety. But I feel like it will be at a time of rest and affluence. It's very odd. More on this timeline when this Elder King recovers this child. A separation. Yay or nay? Nay. Elder King, recovering child, timeline. When will this happen? Yeah. Lots of death and destruction will happen here. Lots of conflict I'm seeing, but I'm still not getting any clarifications as far as timeline. I would like a more specific timeline, so I'm going to go with the stone deck. It's Raider White. Oh geez, that was terrible. But it's weird because we had like a no anxiety. Like we had an affluent card, we had a relaxation card, and then we had, let me see, if that means I'm comfortable around you, I am uncomfortable around you. Perhaps something shifts in the market and that causes dis-ease. Perhaps this child is affluent and then that causes dis-ease amongst the parent. I don't see that, but it can be interpreted as that. Another wounded warrior. Interesting. Okay. Defense. Tell me about when this geopolitical movement will be happening regarding the elder. The elder going to the child. So that's what it means. This is sneaky energy. I can see like spy stuff kind of happening. I feel like it's very, you know, when Russia sent like Russo spies over here and just integrated into society. I feel like it's that kind of it's that kind of infestation, right? Like I'm seeing bugs in a house. Um, it's sneaky. It's a quiet operation, and I think this is a quiet operation because it's when possibly the world gets back to normalcy, and then it happens. So I don't see this happening for maybe. No. Okay, I want to say, but I don't, only because, you know what? I did the Russo reading, and that was pretty accurate. I kind of see this happening in like 2 years. I don't really see it happening right now. I could be wrong, though. So, I don't know, someone write that down. I see it happening after the famine. So I got this king when he collects his child. A wise king. The elder, the men of old. Justice. Yeah, it goes back to that same freaking feeling I got with the invasion last spring. Very Spider 8 energy, meant to happen, cycle closing, like just another. Here's what it feels like. It feels like a game of chess, right? And it feels like one guy is just taking his move. It doesn't feel like the war. It feels like strategy. It feels like it's just my turn to look. We got 3 of Swords right here. Pain. And we had also gotten the Moss and the Wounded Warrior. Don't forget that. Whenever this guy takes action to collect his child, it is going to be very painful. Like, I'm seeing a lot of death happening. Who is taking on the damage here? The Chariot in reverse. Whoever's stuck will take on the most damage. Now, I don't mean... I'm kind of perceiving this as the child only because I did make that comment about not being able to get a hold of the child, right? The child is incapacitated by someone, some way. And I'm actually getting the feeling now that this child, I don't want to say is taken hostage, but this child might be harmed by the legacy of the other king who sits in front of a cross. Now, if you're familiar with the various religions in the offensive countries right now, then you know who I'm talking about. But I don't know who this child is because it's the same thing. It takes... So this is the Elder King. Let's call him the Elder King. And then let's call this king the Cross King. I'm also seeing child, right? Now this child might betray this king. But this child is going to take out this king. Okay? And I just got another download. So... I don't know if I said earlier, did I say it earlier on camera? How I said that there would be 2 countries that work together and one gets taken out. Where is it? Yes, right here. Taken out by legacy. But then he's avenged. And I believe the Avenger might be this one. But then it could go the other way, you know, like, or are we talking about this way going that way? Either way, these smaller countries are under big powers that could definitely come and back them up. And I see that as like a sufficient pretext for a larger country to go to war. Like, oh, you harmed this country? Oh my God, how dare you? And then it's like another big boy. And then it turns into a bigger and bigger deal just because of how much it's escalating. So this is the battle between the two kings broken down, right? What I want to get into is I want to get into the food transport system, right? And what we can expect regarding that. Because I do feel like it is going to crash. I do feel like, how long is it going to last, you know? So let's do a reading on that. Or should that be another video? Yeah, let's do that. I'll be back.